on the little over route, so that opened up the space for us.
Drew, when you look at, I'm sorry if you've been asked this already, but when you look at what this spring did for you compared to last spring, what's the biggest difference that comes to your mind?
I would just
being, not the guy behind Sean, but other than that, yeah.
I would just say familiarity with the whole offense. I definitely got more reps as a quarterback this spring. I think that's just from a number standpoint and how the coaches handle it this year. Because last year, our spring game was different because of the numbers we had up front. So this year we were able to get a lot of work in for all three of us, and it was really beneficial for all of us in the room. Learning from each other, the good and the bads, and then taking those into the next practice. So I think overall this spring it was just like the amount of reps we each got.
Coach Franklin has said numerous times this spring that we can't throw the ball enough, talking about the quarterbacks, talking about the receivers. What does that mean to you? How do you interpret that?
I would say I take it as a challenge just because, he knows how good we can be and we know how good we can be in the pass game, but we're not there right now. We've gotten a lot better throughout the spring. But I think this summer is going to be huge for us. I know everybody's willing to buy in and put extra time into it, so I'm really looking forward to the summer workouts and then getting with those guys, getting our chemistry down, and then going against our defense and player-led 7-ons.
What do you do this summer? I mean, what are the things that you can do away from the facility or at the facility, but not with the coaches, that get you further along towards where you want to be at the start of the preseason camp?
Yeah, I would say whatever you want. Like if we have one or two things, like meeting as a unit. We did it this spring a couple times, meeting as a unit on an off day to meet about one or two things that we really want to focus on, and I think that helps everybody in the room, showing our film and then maybe some NFL film. I think that's really beneficial, just seeing other people do it and seeing why we want to do it a certain way, and then just talking through it, because the biggest thing for us is just being on the same page, talking through everything, and just the communication between whoever is quarterbacks, running backs, quarterbacks O-line, quarterbacks, receivers, tight ends. So I think that's going to be the biggest thing, just sitting down together, watching film, and then going out and doing it.
Who leads those meetings?
It's kind of like a group of us. I would say like me and Theo and Dre right now, but I honestly, like, everybody steps up and talks in that meeting. It's not like a dictatorship, I guess. So like anybody can speak up, ask questions, give their input on stuff. So it's kind of just like overall player led.
Sean used to talk a lot earlier in his career, many years ago, about how much he was learning every single time that he would be on the field. It was sort of like absorbing experiences in real time. How much have you learned over the last 12 months that you file away of something you've never seen before or a thing you haven't experienced, and how quickly do you think you kind of transform as a quarterback through those experiences?
Yeah, I think the experiences help a ton, and obviously being back here, or last year with Sean in front of me, was huge for the whole room, because obviously everybody knows how much he played here, 4-year starter here, so he saw a lot of things that we never saw before, obviously, because we're just younger than him, and he had a lot more experience than us. So him sharing those experiences really helped a ton, and honestly, me and Bo took it as a challenge to help Jackson out with that too, because we know how much Sean meant to both of us. So we tried to pass our knowledge down to Jackson as much as we can as well.
What is sort of the process for a team that maybe knows that it has talent but has to grow into it? How does that change the approach? And maybe you've been on a team that you go, we know we're very good, we know how to do this, is a little bit different than maybe growing into who you can become.
I would just say putting in as much work as we can between now and fall camp. I think that's going to be the biggest thing, because we can either not put in as much work and then not be where we want to be going into fall camp, or we can put in the necessary or necessary amount of work that we need to be at before fall camp. So it's really going to be on us as a players, May through June, July, to really get this thing narrowed down. And focus on what we really want to get good at as an offense. We'll have our exit interviews this week that we'll meet with the coaches, and then they'll tell us their input and ask us for our opinions. So then off of that, we can just, drill the things they want to be in for day 1, day 2 install for, going into fall camp. And I think the amount of work that we're going to put in over the summer is going to pay huge dividends for us.
You haven't really...
How confident are you with the offensive line depth that your feet are going to be protected? You got Katron and Nick in the backfield. So you can go out and do what you need to do, and you're not having to make superhero plays out there.
Yeah, no, I'm super confident in the guys up front, and like you said, Nick and Katron are really good in protections too, so that helps a ton. They're cued into what the offensive line is calling out, and they're cued into what I changed the protection. So it's a really good group, offensive line wise. You know, they're gonna do their jobs up front, and the running backs are gonna pick up anything that I may have missed or any extra guys that like come in on the blitz. So I think as a whole, between the quarterbacks, running backs, and offensive lines, we have really good communication, and we just do a really good job of just like making sure everybody's on the same page.
Coach
Appreciate it.
Franklin
Thank you.
mentioned that